Hayley, congratulations on winning these awards.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor.
So you come to Stanford, and almost the first thing that happens when you're here on campus is you find out your teammate, Inky Ajanaku, ends up being out for the whole season because of an injury. What was that like for you?
For me, my story with Inky actually goes back to the injury itself. I was there when it happened. We were in Peru. So it was kind of weird, I guess, being the one on the team that witnessed it happen and it not really being Stanford related. So I kind of had the summer to just think about kind of a different expectation that the season would have without Inky and kind of the roles that would have to be filled. And so I know our seniors, Joe, Maddie, and Brittany kind of stepped up and decided to fill that role. And I realized pretty quickly that I was going to have to take on a bigger role than I think anybody had thought, just because we were having a lot of changes and it was going to be a different lineup than anticipated.
Why volleyball?
I started playing volleyball when I was probably about 8 years old. My next door neighbor was a few years older than me, and she was from a big volleyball family. She actually just finished her season. She was the libero at Washington State, Kate Summer, and she dragged me to clubs. She was like, "You are tall, you're athletic, like let's go play volleyball." And I just didn't understand the sport at all. It was really frustrating. There was this big net. I was like little and 8, and I just wanted to hit the ball as hard as I could, but I couldn't hit it down at that point, so it just would go flying out, and I didn't understand it. And then at about 12, I was playing a bunch of other sports and realized I was not a contact sport person, but that I was going to be tall and athletic and like I wanted to compete. And so at that point, volleyball started to make a whole lot more sense because I could actually use my height at that point as an advantage, and the sport just made a lot of sense. And then I fell in love with it and kind of never looked back.
Do you ever have any thoughts of being a setter? Or, I mean, there's tall setters out there, or libero, any of those positions ever appeal to you?
If I could go back and do it again, I think I would develop a setting skill tool belt for sure. I love setting. I think it's the coolest thing. I never trained at it. But I've kind of played all the positions when I was younger, and I'm still dreaming of someday getting to put a libero jersey on just for show, just for one game. But yeah, I think outside hitter or opposite, I think it's kind of, I like it because you get to do a lot of different skills. But setting would definitely be something in another life that I would love to learn.
And of course, you're an opposite. You hit on the right side. When did anyone ever first come to you and say, "Gee, we'd like you to hit on the right side"?
I showed up for the first day of preseason and was made an opposite. So I showed up and went with it. I've hit a little bit on the right in the past. On a few USA teams, it's kind of been the opening, and it's been a way for me to get on the court a lot of the time, is to be able to fill that right side job. But typically I've been an outside in the past, so I got here and it was just like, all right, let's play opposite.
Now, when you play opposite, you still get, with your setter Maddie Bug this season, just a tremendous number of sets in the back row. A lot of pipes, a lot of Ds. Tell me about that. How did that come to be? Is it something between the two of you?
It was something we really worked on developing, especially during preseason, because we realized we needed to kind of be able to spread our offense and have some outlets. And we realized it worked really well, and that other teams were going to have a hard time defending it and blocking it because it's just not something that a lot of teams run. So it started out a lot higher than it was at the end of the season. It was a little bit slower of a set, and we were just trying to get it down. And as the season progressed, like Maddie and I's connection got a lot better, and we just started running it faster, and it became pretty effective, especially towards like mid-October.
You know, it's kind of a risky maneuver, and you risk embarrassing yourself, if you will, because you can hit it in the net and all. Do you like it? Is it a scary thing to be able to hit that much back row?
Well, it's definitely nice having no blockers up almost half the time. So, whenever there's an open net, like it's okay if I'm 8 feet behind the net. Just kind of go up and take a rip. It's a lot of fun.
Collegiately, what do you think you need to do to improve your game?
I know, especially after kind of how this season ended, I have a lot to get better at, and I'm ready to do that. I think for me, finding smarter ways to score is going to be a big thing over the course of the next 4 years, and having, or 3 years, and having a lot more tools in my tool belt, kind of mix it up and keep expanding my arsenal in that sense. And then also kind of developing a leadership role on the team, I think is going to be huge over the next 3 years in kind of pursuit of a national title.
So more tools. We're seeing athletes come up who've played a lot of sand, a lot of beach, and they're incorporating that. Is that what you're talking about?
I think it's just, yes, I will be playing beach this spring too, so I think some of that will kind of happen on its own. But just in terms of ball control and being more accurate and being able to really put the ball exactly where I want it to all the time. So, yeah.
And then beyond college, or maybe even during college, you've had experience with the national team. Do you see your future with the national team, or at least specifically playing professionally first and with the national team, either while you're still in college or beyond?
While I'm still in college, I don't really know what's going to shake down, but it's always been a dream for me to go to the Olympics. So I definitely have my eyes set on playing overseas and hopefully having a pretty decent career with the national team after college. Yeah.
Hayley Hodson, congratulations on both being on the Volleyball Magazine All-American team and being Volleyball Magazine's Freshman of the Year.
Thank you so much.